The most striking thing about the past few days has been seeing Taehyung living one of the best moments of his life in Paris. His presence in the city was simply unforgettable. From the moment he left for the Celine fashion show, everything around him seemed to light up. It wasn't just his style that caught everyone's attention, but also his confidence, his natural elegance, and that way of walking that exudes confidence without saying a single word. Taehyung looked incredible, completely ready to stand out from everyone else. The suit he wore, perfectly matched with his bearing, made it clear why so many people consider him a unique figure in fashion. A special moment was when we saw him cycling through the streets of Paris. He rode calmly, enjoying the ride like any normal person, yet at the same time standing out effortlessly. Upon finally arriving at the Celine show, he was greeted by a crowd of fans who couldn't hide their excitement. The welcome was warm and beautiful, and he responded with kind gestures, showing his appreciation without needing many words. The way he relates to his audience shows how much he values that constant support. Taehyung is not only a star, but also someone who knows how to connect with people in a genuine way. At the event, his interactions also drew attention. He shared some very pleasant moments with Park Bo-gum, with whom he has maintained a close relationship for some time. They were seen talking, laughing, and enjoying the occasion like good friends. He also shared a scene with Suzy, alongside Bo-gum. The image of the three of them together was one of the most talked about moments of the show, and for good reason. Their presence together reflected style, personality, and poise. During the event, Taehyung also posed in a special way for a media outlet known as Nuna V. He performed unique movements, distinct from the usual poses, demonstrating that he not only understands fashion but also knows how to express himself through it. Nuna V witnessed how Taehyung experiences moments full of authenticity, showing himself free and comfortable in a space where many feel pressured. But what truly sets him apart is his open and sociable personality. Taehyung isn't someone who prefers to stay alone or go unnoticed. On the contrary, he was seen interacting very amicably with other people at the event. He chatted with Mustafa the Poet, a Canadian artist highly respected for his lyrics and sensitivity. He was also seen talking with Jonathan Anderson, the creative director of Dior, and Anna Wintour, none other than the global editorial director of Vogue magazine. The most curious thing is that several celebrities have confessed to feeling nervous around him. Not because he's unapproachable, but because of the strong energy he transmits. Taehyung imposes with his mere presence, not because he's aloof, but because he has an intense personality that naturally draws attention. Despite that, he always appears relaxed, open, and willing to make new friends. During Jin's concert, many rumors surfaced among fans about what happened at the end of the event, especially about Jungkook. Some claimed that Jungkook waited for Jimin to leave together, sparking theories about their closeness. However, it's important to speak clearly about what really happened, basing ourselves on the facts and not on interpretations or edited videos circulating on the internet. In the original videos, it's clear that Jungkook was heading to leave the venue accompanied by Suga. They were both ready to leave when suddenly, a staff member approached Jungkook. At that moment, you can see him being asked to wait. This wasn't something he decided on his own, but rather an instruction he was given. The staff then began coordinating the exit order, giving directions to each person. What happened next is also very clear. 3 vehicles arrived, one for Suga, one for Jungkook, and one for Jimin. Each of them boarded a different car, indicating they didn't leave together. This information contrasts with what was shown in previously edited videos, where it appeared there were only 2 cars and that Jimin and Jungkook were leaving together. Many people used these manipulated clips to support theories, which lose ground when viewed in the full original footage. Some fans still insist that those of us sharing this version are making things up, and that the three cars weren't real or that one was for the staff. However, visual evidence refutes this. There are three clearly identifiable vehicles, all waiting for different people. This detail completely disproves the idea that Jimin and Jungkook left in the same car. These types of misunderstandings are nothing new. For years, many fans have wanted to see a special relationship between Jimin and Jungkook. But the truth is that many of these interactions have been part of fan service, a common practice in the entertainment industry where idols display a certain closeness to maintain audience interest. This doesn't mean there isn't affection between them, but what is shown on camera doesn't always reflect reality offstage. However, if we pay attention to the way Jungkook behaves with Taehyung, we can see a more authentic and constant connection. Although their relationship has been much more discreet in recent years, there are signs that point to a deep and meaningful closeness. These aren't staged moments or scenes planned to generate content. Their bond has sustained over time, even when they're not in the spotlight. Taehyung and Jungkook have shared many moments offstage, from private trips, coincidences in personal activities, to details that only those with a special relationship tend to reveal. Although they don't openly announce it, their love is evident to those who follow them closely, without the need to force narratives or edit evidence. That's why it's important to say this clearly: the truth is out. Jungkook didn't leave with Jimin. He didn't wait for him out of choice, it was an instruction from the staff. And each of them left in their own cars. The full video shows it, uncut and unedited. People who keep saying otherwise are making decisions based on false theories. And when those theories fall apart, they invent new ones. But that doesn't change the facts. All they achieve is further confusing fans and distancing themselves from reality. The bond between Jimin and Jungkook may be close, but it's not what some believe or want to impose. On the other hand, the relationship with Taehyung is full of genuine moments, small details that need no explanation. You can tell there's trust, affection, and something more. That can't be faked. For years, Taehyung and Jungkook have shown that their way of communicating goes beyond what anyone could expect. When you observe how they interact in detail, the first thing that stands out is their ability to understand each other without words. As soon as one of them leans closer, the other does the same. It's an immediate connection. They don't need to look at each other to know what's coming next. If Taehyung leans to the side, Jungkook seems to guess and adjusts his body as if he already knows what Taehyung needs. All of this happens so consistently that it no longer seems casual. These movements are small, but they carry a lot of meaning. They're not part of a rehearsal or choreography. You can tell they're not planned. They come naturally, as if their bodies have already learned to respond to each other. This kind of behavior doesn't form overnight. It takes time, consistency, and a closeness that goes beyond what you see in public. There are moments when, even when they're in the middle of an event, they touch, look at, or get close as if no one else were around. Their attention is completely focused on the other. And this is repeated many times. Not just once, not twice. It's a pattern that persists over time. A way of being together that needs no justification. And they don't do it only when they're alone. It also happens in front of cameras, no matter who sees them. This shows they're not acting for the public. The gestures they share aren't meant to attract attention. They're natural. As if this way of being close is already part of their daily lives. There's no doubt that between Taehyung and Jungkook there's a dynamic that can't be compared to others. This constant closeness makes those who follow them, especially Taehyung fans, notice the details. Because it's not just a single isolated scene. It's the sum of many actions, many moments in which you can see they share something special. A way of interacting that you don't see every day. Something that only the two of them can understand. What makes the connection between Taehyung and Jungkook stand out even more is that it doesn't change, no matter where they are or who's with them. This intimate way of acting is maintained, whether in interviews, concerts, behind the scenes, or even in the casual videos they record together. Their behavior doesn't vary. It's always the same fluidity, the same closeness, as if no barrier exists between them. It's easy to notice how they react to physical contact. There's no resistance, no discomfort. On the contrary, it seems like their bodies already know what to do. If one of them touches the other, the response comes immediately. Not with hesitation, but with certainty. This doesn't happen with just anyone. And it's certainly not repeated so constantly. When two people behave this way in public and in private, it's not out of habit or coincidence. It's because they have a relationship in which there's no need to explain anything. Furthermore, their gestures are never exaggerated. They're not acting to provoke reactions. They're not seeking attention. They're not showing off. They're simple, small movements, but they carry a lot of meaning. And even as the years go by, this way of being close doesn't disappear. On the contrary, it seems to grow stronger. There's more trust, more fluidity, more naturalness. This isn't achieved without something solid behind it. The way they look at each other is also constant. It's not just any old look. It's a way of observing each other calmly, attentively, as if just by looking at each other they already know everything the other is thinking. This is where many Taekookers find the signs that confirm what they already suspect. Because it's in those shared silences, in those minimal, repeated gestures, that a real connection is built.